All right. It is May 13th, 2022. Friday the 13th for those who celebrate. We had this spike in channel from the overnight. You can see we made this leg up in the overnight, and I believe this is where the leg ends, and then the next one begins. Let's move that to, this looks like it's a new low. So, oh, but then that would make the leg over there. So, I mean, let's see. Yeah, that would mean we would have come short of our target, as you see here. But I suspect. I mean, we could make it like that, and then the lows would be here, and you could see. So that might be it. You could see we had some serious resistance there, and that's the top of the channel too. So. Anyway, I think there was this yellow channel within the larger channel. Let's see when we drag this out. You know, maybe this one was steeper, and that's a touch right there. You know, let's see if you draw it off the highs, because that looks like pretty accurate to me, and that would make sense for this touch. So they're all pretty close, pretty related. Let's drag this. Yeah, there we go. I didn't mark anything up here, so let's take a look and see if there's any trades there. But you can see we made two measured legs up. Oh, and I see a nice second entry right there, and the trend was clearly up. So that's 530. Does it get you a nice move? No, but it gets you a scalp. So this one you don't have anything there, but yeah, that's too early. Come up here. I don't like this. That doesn't look good on my chart to go short. Then we bounce. First entry. This is a second entry, so I'm gonna mark that, but only because we've been trending up in the overnight. I'd be a little nervous to be doing that, but that is a second entry. It's above the EMA, so you might probably want to take that. First entry, failed second entry here. You're just going into that top, though. This is a failure and a breakout pullback. I kind of like that. I'm going to mark it green because it doesn't come off the EMA. You can see that. We get this first entry, second entry. That doesn't set up for us. And then you make a new low right here, and you get a first entry, failed second entry. So you might consider that it's a breakout pullback. We're in a strong uptrend. First entry, second entry. That looks pretty good. I'm going to mark that green. Signal bar is trash, but it looks like it's at the bottom of a range as well, so that's another reason to like it. We come up here, and I think this was the level of support, but we broke beneath it pretty quick. So yeah, that's probably just a range. You can see that we're getting all types of touches there. So you might consider this. You can see it's off a midline, but it's also going into the midline of the yellow channel, so that I'm going to mark that. It's third entry, but or really just a first entry, but you can see so many touches on that level of support. And it's a very bullish bar, but that's very congestive. Also, we get a break of this leg up and a couple of legs to a new high, so that's another reason to think of that as aggressive, but it's a strong trend up. And I had a feeling early on because of the midline, you can see that touch right there, some touches here. That midline looks pretty accurate for this channel. So we formed this level of support up here, and I had a pretty strong feeling that it wasn't a good idea to go into the highs here. However, we got a double test here with a really bullish bar, and that's a true triple bottom. So what I did was, and I like this, I didn't like it. You're going into the highs. There's not a lot of room. All I did was, if this broke higher and got a scalper's profit, which it didn't, I think you got 3 ticks, then I would cancel my order. But I dropped my order, I think 2 points, 12.50, so 14.50, and I got filled. And then it went for a scalp, and that was nice. And I also would have hit my runner of 4 points, but I wanted, I was dreaming. Even though I was reading it correctly with this trend channel up here, I was dreaming that it would go higher, and I got stopped out. So come down here, bounce again. Is that a second entry? That is a second entry. Would you have had that yellow channel? You may have. And it's off of this. So, ooh, I see all that. I'm going to look how far from the EMA that is. Ooh, that's tempting. That's tempting right there. And look, that would have paid off. Let's say you take profits at the EMA. That's a 7-point move. This is a failure, but it doesn't set up. Then we come up here, we start chopping. I wouldn't call this the break. I wouldn't call this the break. I would call this the break. First entry, second entry, you very well might consider that. Yeah, I'm going to have to mark that blue. But it's just the risk is just so large. And it's not off a trend channel. And we didn't make it to those highs. Not taking this failure into those highs. That's congestive right there. You get a failed breakout that makes a touch off the yellow channel, and you can see here, look, we're consistently making higher lows. This is not a higher low compared to this. This is a lower low, but it's a higher low compared to this. And so I felt like that was an aggressive trade on a day like today that you might take. You get this double bottom, first entry, failed second entry. It's also a breakout pullback of this price level. It's also testing this price level. Something to consider. You get a second entry right here. I think you got to take that. Just some chopping up here. Double bottom, first entry, failed second entry. I got to mark that. But that's congestive, so I'm going to mark that as aggressive as well. And this is a double test with a really bullish signal bar, but you're going into the highs of the day. Get an overshoot of that break, or of that trend channel, excuse me. That leads to a break. First entry, failed second entry. I don't even think this would have got a scalp, so I'm probably just marked it and walked away or something. 30. Okay, so that gets you a scalp, but you're going. It's congestive. We got one nice leg down, so you might expect another one, and that's exactly what happens. We form this channel. That's a second entry short, but you're not going short there today. Congestion. This looks like it might be a this is actually a failure right here. And this looks like a new high, even though it's not. So that's like that. This looks like a failure. That's even more aggressive than this one, though. Why did I mark this red? This just looked good. Oh, okay, because you can see that's a first entry. It goes higher, second entry, and there's room to the lows. And at this point, we're trending down. So, yeah, you get an overshoot down here, and you get a first entry. What looks like a failed second entry here, but that is a failure. So that's just a trap right there. I think if you're reading this correctly, you can take that. I'm not advanced enough to see all that, because I probably would have bit the bait here, even though that looks like one leg of correction. And this is a second entry short, failed second entry long right here. I'm not too crazy about either of these, to be honest, because of the overshoot of the channel, and you just got to trust your trend lines. first entry, second entry below the EMA. Then we get this, probably a third entry. And we're just testing this level of support. We come back and test it. And then you get this, and this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good to me. It's just like a 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just like a multiple tests of that low. It's definitely aggressive though. Oh, it's a second entry as well. So that's pretty good. So that's a pretty good entry. And that gets you a really nice move. That should get you all of that, pretty much 91. So that gets you like a 30-point move if you catch that. So here it is. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be back next week.